And good evening to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team, as we are going to do an extended weather update for you tonight, talking about the changes that are moving into our area as we see the cold air over the past day or so with us started warming up a little bit today, and we got up to 50 degrees. That's after our low this morning of 28 degrees. So it was very cold out there this morning. This was our first freeze of the season. It was also classified as a hard freeze as we were below freezing for multiple hours out there. And as I mentioned, getting down to 28 degrees. And as you know, on Monday, our afternoon temperatures were generally only in the 30s. So after the frigid start this morning, then through the day today, we actually got up to 50 degrees. Now, I know that's warmer than yesterday, and it felt better than yesterday because the wind also started dying down a little bit too. But that 50-degree temperature is still below where we should be for this time of year. Now, our weather story coming up for the next few days and even into next week is that warming trend is going to continue, and we're going to be feeling that a little bit more during the day tomorrow. In the morning, we're still going to be chilly with temperatures in the 30s. We're thinking here in Atlanta, it'll be at around 37 degrees. Some areas outside the city will be close to freezing, but I don't think it's going to be anything like it was out there last night when we fell down into the 20s. So warmer days are moving in, and it's going to be really through not only the end of this week, through the weekend, but also into the beginning of next week too. Each and every day, we're seeing these temperatures rising just a little bit more. So we're going to see 60s for highs tomorrow. Remember, today was 50. Tomorrow's going to be about 63, which is going to be 13 degrees warmer than it was out there for today. Upper 60s moving in for Thursday, and then we're going to be seeing those temperatures that will be in the 70s for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and also into next week. So what do you need? You might be shedding a couple of layers. You don't need as heavy of a coat as we have been dealing with yesterday and early this morning. You'll definitely need the sunglasses though, because we will see plenty of sunshine as we go through the next few days, with maybe a couple more clouds mixing in on Sunday, Monday, and also on Tuesday. Satellite and radar looking very clear right now. We don't have any clouds around at all, and with that, we don't have any rain in our area either. We do see around the entire state of Georgia high pressure sitting on top of us, and that is inhibiting, it's sinking air that is also inhibiting any clouds to develop or any rain to develop. And really over the entire southeast, we really don't have much going on at all. Just a few clouds back into Arkansas, a little bit of that up into parts of northern Tennessee, southern Kentucky, moving into North Carolina and also into Virginia. And then north of that, we have a few more clouds around and even some snow going in from parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, a few snow flurries there, and then even some lake effect snow up into the areas of the north near the Great Lakes. But that's where all of that weather is going to stay. We're not going to have to worry about any of that here in our area at all. Here's a live look at our tower cam. As you can see here, again, this is you know I show you guys this every night. This is my favorite one. From Arizona Avenue, right there in DeKalb County on the DeKalb and Fulton County line, looking westward toward the city of Atlanta, and it looks great with the clear sky. Beautiful skyline that we have right here, looking really nice. And then this is another one of my favorite ones as well. This is our Athens tower cam that we often show you when, in the downtown area, but every once in a while, we're able to zoom in really tight. This is our tower is in downtown on top of the Fred building there. We're actually to zoom in really tight here to Sanford Stadium, and this place is going to be rocking on Saturday night as Texas is going to be in town. Two top 10 teams playing at Sanford Stadium. I'm going to be in the stadium watching, and it is going to be a great game. Weather's going to be nice and comfortable for the game coming up on Saturday night. Remember, it is a night game. So I wanted to zoom in because every once in a while, sometimes before these big games, they do have the lights on right now, but sometimes they change the colors in the lights and kind of practice with them a little bit, but we're not seeing any of that action going on out there for tonight. And then this is our view at Truist Park as we are looking over toward the west, where we saw a great sunset out there tonight, where the sun went down around 5:37 tonight. Now, if you've been on social media, you may have been hearing about a solar storm that is taking place, and a big geomagnetic storm. It's a G4. It's a relatively strong storm, geomagnetic storm that is taking place right now. And there's been a lot on social media about whether or not we will be able to see the northern lights. Now, here in Atlanta, the chances are very low, especially with a naked eye. But looking onto the horizon, if you're in a very dark place, and what I think is kind of interesting about this is that you may only be able to see it through your phone. Remember how it happened, gosh, was it May of 2024, I believe, where we actually did see some of the northern lights here in parts of North Georgia. This is a similar type storm is what they're having, is what we're having out there tonight. But I really don't want to build this up because people might get disappointed. If you want to, and if you're in a really dark place in a dark sky, like up in North Georgia, away from city lights with no light pollution, looking on the horizon, you may be able to see a red tinge, and you'll probably have to look at it through your phone camera and then look at it on your phone to possibly even be able to see anything. I've had a couple reports from northern Alabama from people who have actually seen a little bit of that red hue on the horizon there tonight, but it's more evident up to the north, like up in the North Dakota, the Great Lakes region. I've seen some impressive photos there from some people there who have actually seen the northern lights there as well, and especially up into Canada too. But for us, I just don't want everybody to get real excited about it, go out and try to see it, and then get disappointed, because that's what happens a lot of times with these things. But then again, I don't want you to miss out on at least trying if you want to, if you're interested in stuff like that, so that you could see it. But again, it would probably pretty much have to be through your phone. It's not like you can see it with a naked eye. So that's just kind of what the reality is about this system. Very slim chance you could even see it, and even if you do, it would pretty much have to be through your phone. Now, we are going to continue to see those temperatures warm up. Our weather story for the week is going to be just that for the next few days. As we mentioned a little while ago, we're moving back to the 60s here tomorrow afternoon. It'll be above average on Thursday, getting up to around 68 degrees for a high temperature, and then the 70s come in for the end of the week, weekend, and beginning of next week. And with this area of high pressure sitting on top of us, we have another dry pattern ahead that's going to stay nice and dry and comfortable really through the weekend and starting next week too. Here's that high today. We did manage to get up to 50 degrees. We were thinking we would hold in the upper 40s, but with all that bright sunshine out there, we managed to get up to 50 degrees briefly late this afternoon. And then here's that low this morning, 28 degrees. Yeah, that was a really cold start. Now compare these temperatures to where we should be for this time of year. After yesterday afternoon's temperatures that held only in the 30s, getting up to 50 today actually felt pretty good. But look at this. The average high for this time of year is 66. So we were still 16 degrees below the average. And the average low for this time of year is 45. So that 28 degree temperature is still well below average. And it was about 4 degrees away from the record. We have been colder on this date before. In fact, that was in 1913 when we hit 24 degrees, and then the record high is 78. And as you know, we've been talking a lot about this rain and the lack of it. Right now, we're about 5.15 inches below where we should be in rainfall for the year. Now, after looking at those highs and lows, this is how it all timed out. Really, during the overnight hours, we dropped to the freezing mark just after midnight, and then we held at 32 at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, and then that's when we went into the 20s, 29 at 4, 28 at 7 o'clock this morning, as well as at 5 o'clock this morning, and then up to 30. It was between 8 and 9 that we went up to 32 degrees. So I want to show you this to show you that we had those hours there really from midnight until between 8 and 9 this morning with temperatures that were below freezing. And for many of you outside the city, you had those freezing temperatures longer than we did here in Atlanta, because a lot of those temperatures hit the freezing mark well before midnight, and then they held on to freezing temperatures for a little bit longer than Atlanta this morning too. And then look how we warmed during the day. I know you're only seeing 49 degrees here, but these are the hourly temperatures, but it was between those temperatures that we did hit 50 degrees for that high temperature. It was just for a brief time. Temperature right now, it's cooling, 41 degrees. Yeah, feeling pretty chilly out there at this hour. We do have some 30s. It's just above freezing in Peachtree City right now at 34, 34 in Canton. We've got 29 in Blairsville, but Clayton is actually a little bit milder at 37 degrees, 37 also in Eatonton, Carrollton at 38 degrees. So it's cold, but not as cold as it was last night. We're going to be seeing temperatures in the morning down to 37 in Atlanta. And as I mentioned, some of those outlying areas will be closer to freezing. I'm thinking Carrollton will be just above freezing at 33. LaGrange even may even make it down to 32. Canton 32, Dalton 32, Blairsville 31. Everybody else just a little bit above that freezing mark. So again, not another freeze that's going to be happening here in our area. Then as we get up to the noon hour, we warm quickly. We'll be up to 59 degrees, and then it doesn't stop there. We're up to about 63 for a high temperature here tomorrow afternoon. A lot of those mid-60s, low to mid-60s around for the afternoon hours. We cool back down on Thursday, but just into the 40s. So as you know, this morning we were 28. Tomorrow's going to be around 36, 37 degrees in Atlanta, and then we'll be 43 on Thursday morning. So those morning temperatures are starting to get a little milder. And then at lunchtime on Thursday, we'll be at 54, and then 67 to 68 degrees here for your Thursday afternoon. And then we do think on Friday we'll see the 70s around. So specifically tomorrow, this is how it times out at 37 in the morning, getting up to 64 in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, no rain around at all. And the forecast track doesn't show a lot of activity on here. What I want you to see though, these arrows coming out of the west, that's more of a zonal flow, bringing in dry air as well as some of the warmer air. And that's going to help contribute to that warming trend over the next few days. Going into Thursday, there might be a couple of extra clouds mixing in with the sunshine at times, especially in the afternoon hours, but it's not going to be like an overcast, all dark gray sky all afternoon. It's just a few clouds mixing in with the sunshine. Then going into Friday morning, another nice start to the day. Mostly sunny skies on Friday as we get up to around 70 degrees here in the afternoon. So we're transitioning from this really cold air that was over us, that is starting to move up toward the north and to the east, and that's opening the door, as I mentioned, with that westerly zonal flow, bringing in some of this milder air that we're going to be experiencing through the end of the week. And it's going to be on Friday when we have the warmer air in the 70s, and then we're holding in the 70s going into the weekend. This model trying to show a little kick of cooler air trying to come into North Georgia on Sunday. That may be because we're going to see a few more clouds around. But on Monday, still, the mild air is going to win out going into the first part of next week here. So specifically for those low temperatures, these mornings have been really cold, and it's going to be chilly again in the morning, down to 37 degrees. And then 44 Thursday, mid-40s on Friday, upper 40s on Saturday for those wake-up temperatures. Then on Sunday, we'll be at about 54 degrees. So that's going to be a milder start to the day going into Sunday. And I do think we'll have a few more clouds around too. And, kind of keeping us there, helping it to be a little milder. And then the afternoons is when you're really going to be noticing these warmer temperatures too. As I mentioned, each and every day just coming up a little bit more. 63 on Wednesday, 68 on Thursday, 71 Friday, and then 74 Saturday, 75 on Sunday. So for those of you going to the Georgia game in Athens on Saturday, tailgating is going to be great with those temperatures getting into the 70s in the middle of the afternoon, but it's a 7:45 game, so the sun will have been down for a while. It is going to start cooling into the evening, going from the 70s into the 60s, and then maybe even some upper 50s by the end of the game, of course, depending on how long that game goes. But hopefully we'll all stay warm there in Sanford Stadium. It's celebrating a good win for those Georgia Bulldogs. So here is that 7-day outlook. And you're not seeing any raindrops here, even though we're staying dry Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. If you'll recall yesterday, I was telling you that there might be about a 20% chance for a shower on Monday. Now the models are pushing that back a little bit, really into Tuesday, with just a 20% chance for an isolated shower. And, it's just a really small chance, but just a little more moisture trying to move in here. But really, as I've said, that weather story will be those temperatures warming, not only in the afternoons, but also the mornings. Not quite as cold, too. We've got the lower 60s Wednesday, upper 60s Thursday, lower 70s Friday, mid 70s on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then back to 72 on Tuesday with that low chance for a couple of showers, isolated showers around. So thanks for joining us for this extended weather update here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. We'll have another update for you coming up tonight at 11 o'clock here on 11 Alive Plus, and then Chesley will be with you early tomorrow morning and updates throughout the day tomorrow too, as we're tracking the big thaw with these cooler temperatures, actually warmer temperatures that are going to be moving our way. We hope you have a great night. Thanks for watching.